Miss Nichols here. I am going to create a short video to show you how to use calculators for our next unit that we're going to be starting, which is Pythagorean theorem. Now, I'm going to go over two of the calculators that we used in class, the scientific calculators. So if you have those at home, you're going to want to grab those. I'm also going to go over how to use one on your cell phone. I'm going to use my cell phone, so it might be slightly different, but that's also another tool that you can use while you're at home. And then I'm also going to show you how to use the one on your Chromebook as well. So all three of those options will totally work. You pick whatever's easiest for you and what you have at home, okay? But I want to show you all three in the same video. So you decide which one you're going to use and you just watch that portion of the video because that's really the only one that you need. And then this video will stay linked in case you need it. In case you lose your phone or you lose or your calculator breaks or something like that. So the first one that we are going to look at is the scientific calculators that we used in class. So give me just a minute while I switch my camera, okay? And then I need to switch it so it's not upside down. So this is the standard one that we used while we were in class, okay? And these are what the things are going to look like in our calculator. And so that's called the square root button. Okay, we call that the square root. So basically, we're trying to find a number that when we take it times itself, it gives us that number on the inside. So on this standard scientific calculator, okay, you are going to, the button is, it's right above that x squared. See the little square root. So that means we have to hit the second button first, and then we're going to hit that x squared. Okay. And then we just type in the number. So that first one was 81. So I would just type in the number and hit equals, which gives me 9 as my answer. Now, the other one, sometimes we will get a decimal. So again, you always have to hit second first, and then that x squared button, it's right next to the 7. And then let's do something like 23. So sometimes they won't always come out perfect. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes they will come out as a decimal number. And so I'll talk in our examples on how we're going to round and what that's going to look like because I don't expect you to write out everything. Okay, so that's that calculator. The other one that I know some of you have is the one like this. Now, this one's a little bit different. Okay, there's a square root button right here. Okay, notice that we don't have to hit the second button on this calculator. That's the button that we need. So it's right by the division. If you have the blue TI that looks different than both of these, I believe, I don't have one at home, but I believe there is a standard square root button somewhere on that calculator. So look for that symbol and that will be what you want. Now this one's a little bit different. So this time I have to hit the number first and then I hit my square root button. So I hit the square root button second instead of first. So then same thing, if I clear it out and I want to do the square root of 23, I type 23 first and then I hit the square root button to get that decimal value. So it depends on the calculator on whether you're going to hit the number first or you're going to hit the square root button first. If you're using a Texas Instrument calculator, one of those two things would work, okay? Now, the other thing I'm going to show you is I want to show you on your cell phone. Now, again, I'm using my cell phone, so it's probably not exactly like yours, but this will give you kind of an idea on how you can do it. So standard calculator on our cell phone is just a standard calculator. We've got all of our numbers, our operations. Now, for me, if I turn it sideways, I end up with the scientific calculator, okay, where I have several buttons over here. The one I'm going to want, it looks like a check mark. So on my cell phone, it looks like a check mark, and I have to use that button first. Now, I didn't test this one first, so let's see. I think I have to hit the square root button first. I do. And then I would just type my number in, and it's going to give me that answer. So again, different cell phone calculators might be different. Let's clear that out. I am going to, let's see, square root of 23 again. would give me that decimal value. So for me, I have to hit that square root button, which is the check. Look for that symbol. That's what you're going to want to look for on your cell phone. Okay, and like I said, different cell phones are different, but I believe if you turn most of them to the side now, you get that scientific calculator option, which would give you the square root. Okay, and then the final one that we're going to do is the calculator on your Chromebook. So on your Chromebook, you need to go to the apps, okay? And then if it doesn't show up right there like mine does, you just open up all of them and click on calculator, and it's going to pull this up. Okay, sometimes they will pull up and it'll be just a standard calculator. So if you just need to make it full screen in order to get all of the options. Notice all of our standard numbers are over on the left. All of our operations are right here in the middle in gray. These far right ones we won't even worry about right now. The dark green kind of in the middle is where our focus is going to be. So notice right here underneath the log, it's called logarithm. Underneath the log button, you see that little check. That's the one we want. Now, on your Chromebook, okay, you have to type the number in first. So that AC, that's your clear. So anytime you need to clear it out, you just type on that AC. So let's see. If I want to do the square root of 81, I would type 81 and then hit the square root button. And it's going to give me my answer right away. Notice it went right to my answer. So again, I'm going to clear. This time, let's do square root of 23, since we know that one comes out as a decimal. And I hit square root to get that. Now, not that we need it for the Pythagorean theorem, but I do want to show you in case you come across something where you do need it. So remember that AC is your clear. Down here at the very bottom, if you see where my cursor is circling, there's a plus/minus. That's your negative button. Okay, so you have to type your number in first. So let's say I needed to type in a negative 36. I would have to put the 36 in first and then put the negative button. So notice how that negative was added. And then I could add, let's add 25 to it. Okay, and then I would hit equals to get that negative 11. So you still have that negative option here. There isn't a fraction option, so we won't be doing anything with fractions because you can't do fractions on your calculator, okay? So that goes over the 3 different ways that you can use your, let me flip this back up. So that goes over the 3 different ways that you can do these problems with 3 different kinds of calculators. So again, you decide which one works better for you and what you have at home. I don't care which one you use. It doesn't matter to me. They all will work the same. If you have questions about how to work your calculator, feel free to email me. If it's a type that I haven't talked about, you might take a picture of it and email it to me, and that way that'll help me a little bit. So I know what type of calculator you have. But please reach out if you can't figure out your calculator, because that's something we can very easily discuss through email. And I can talk to you about it on helping you get that squared away. Okay. So again, this video will be at the top of the home doc all the time in case you ever need it or you forget how to use your calculator.